Niccolò, thank you so much for joining me today at the EDRA stand.
Absolutely, a big pleasure.
Since we are in an EDRA space, I kind of want to start with that, but first maybe you can just introduce yourself very quickly.
I'm part of this business from now many years. I'm taking care of the international relationship, and so I focus on the relationship that we have with our dealer network worldwide. So I'm involved in certain aspects that are internal in the company, and so managing with my colleagues a lot of things.
Wonderful. And
Interesting things.
I'm sure, it is still largely like a family business, right?
It's a family business, EDRA.
Yeah.
I'm the second generation for EDRA, so it's an important business based in Tuscany, where we have the entire production, everything, where we can manage, and we focus on every single details.
That's amazing. We'll come back to that a little bit later.
Okay.
But first, I think we're at Salone. Obviously, the SPAZIO EDRA kind of idea, this idea of creating spaces that customers can really walk into and interact with the furniture. I mean, already walking up, there was a big line. There was like a really big line
we have to
queuing
sorry
up
for
for
this
everyone.
for the people, but it's
exactly.
important to show in the proper way the collection. We start to focus the SPAZIO EDRA many years ago. It was around about 2015, where the first time we started to analyze and to check the proper way to display the collection, surrounded by mirror and graphic on the wall to show the universal utilization that the people can have with our collection. We never create a lifestyle concept, a living room, a bedroom, or something like this. The products are like the actor on the theater, on the stage. And this is important because we are a production company, a production brand. So it's important that the people can appreciate all these values. And it's important that we can show from the cover to the internal part, and people can try the products, because it's a crucial point, the comfort for us.
Right. Because remind us, how many showrooms are there of EDRA around the world at this point?
Allora, SPAZIO EDRA are around about 25 at the moment. We are looking for new collaboration. We have a dealer network that is not big, but we believe in the relationship where we can have a really common values to share, a common point of view to arrive together, and mainly to be focused to reach the best appreciation of our clients in every part of the world.
Right. Wonderful.
Yeah. It's a collection that, especially from the beginning, was considered sometimes I can say it's strange, because it's different from every other collection. But we believe in the values of every single idea that we start to develop in the past, because our products that today are considered classic products are timeless. So these are real values. Our products that sometimes we launch at the beginning of the 90s and are still in the collection. This is a really an important added value for us. And the universal utilization of this product in completely different context, completely different houses, ambience, is an important thing that we can share with every person that is interested in EDRA.
Right. Which qualities of the products do you think make them so timeless? Because they do. They fit into very modern contexts. They fit into older contexts, which I think is really beautiful when you kind of look at the backdrops and the screen in these spaces and the mirrors, is you can imagine these products in so many different contexts. So what do you think, what are the values that kind of go from, the conception, but also to the final product that EDRA has that really make the products as such?
Consider that sometimes we really spend years from when we receive a project, the drawing, that we never receive a official version of a drawing. Sometimes we receive something made in this way, and we need to understand with the authors what could become these ideas. So we start to check for the material, check for everything, the technical details, the structure inside, and many times we need to invent, because we never found on the market what is really at a certain level for us. So we are a brand that invests everything in terms of research, pure innovation. We invented the polyurethane that we use inside. We have a fantastic material, it's called Gellyfoam. We invented the Smart Cushion. So a lot of things that today are really important for us is, I can say, a route, a fil rouge, where from the flower collection at the beginning, to the pack sofa, there is a real connection. And this is important because we decided from the beginning to invest on the persons that can help us in the production. And this is a really an additional value for us today because we are able to develop beautiful projects like the polycarbonate collection. Every single piece is assembled by hand in EDRA.
Right. Wow.
So there is a tradition, there is a connection between technologies, between artisanal mastery, something like this that are important values mixed together.
Right. It's an evolution. It's kind of,
Is
I feel like
absolutely.
a lot of the products, you
Yeah.
can feel the history that's kind of embedded into them.
Yeah, and the real interesting value for us is that every product that we have in collection start from what the author is surrounded by. So the people are how they have a relationship. The flower collection from the beginning with Masanori Umeda, the intention to position the flowers inside the house.
Right.
In a city like Tokyo that is really made with concrete material. So these are messages really important, powerful,
Right.
that really trust. Then they have this beautiful tradition with the imperial garden, the respect for the natural aspects.
Yeah.
The Campana Brass is the same. They are surrounded by this continuous chaos that you can find in every street in Brazil, where you can find the waste in every situation, and the people are able to transform it in something reusable.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. When we
Sure.
start the collaboration at the beginning, we start with the Vermeia, that is the armchair made with today 500 meters of rope, half kilometers. We spend 1 week to make one piece. So, and we are double the production because we have now 2 persons that are able to develop this project
Right.
internally. So we are proud when the people want to learn this kind of artisanal mastery.
Yes,
Because are important to have an evolution.
for sure.
But consider we are sitting on a sofa like the standard.
Yes.
That is this model where every single part is assembled by hand. To realize sometimes this easy mechanism
Yeah.
where the people can adjust the sofa on the body. It's not the body that you need to adjust on the sofa. We work in the opposite way.
Yeah.
And
It's
this is
form
really
and function
important.
working together
This is
really
a crucial
nicely.
point.
Yeah.
We can talk about performances of because are dynamic. So we need to invent the fabrics that we use because need the elasticity because there are movement inside. And so every time when we realize a sofa, it's like to made a tailor
Yes.
dress.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic because you can see I'm not able to realize honestly because we need a really strong expertise.
Yeah,
People
it's a
that
real
really
attention to
improve.
detail.
They
Yeah.
touch every day. They can really understand what we want to propose.
Yeah.
And this is important to transfer this to the private client that need to do an investment for the house. And I talk about investment because the upholstery usually stay for 20,
Yeah.
30, 40 years inside
Ideally,
the house.
yeah.
And we hope more. So this is fantastic when
Yeah,
the
for
people
sure.
can enjoy all these things together in a single product.
Yeah, and I think that's what really makes it very special in terms of the collaborations that you do. You know, you find people that have the same values that you have,
Yeah.
that have that same attention to detail, but also the international quality of them. You know, it's kind of bringing like a very global feel
Yeah.
to something which is very distinctly Italian.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that the quality used to have like the radio frequency, a connection, one
Yeah.
connection in every part of the world.
Yeah.
And this is important because we have a long-lasting collaboration that are important for us because it's like the personal relationship.
Right.
You have un'intesa, we say in Italy. You need just to look in the eyes the person in front of you and you can understand
Right.
a lot of things. This is important because today are sometimes uncommon value because everything go fast, everything became immediately old.
Yes.
And we are working in the opposite way. We have a collection that are less than 60 products, but with full of contents inside.
Yeah.
We are working on completely different materials, completely different suppliers that sometimes come from the aerospatial industry, sometimes from the medical industries. Sometimes they ask why you need these technologies to develop a sofa. Why?
This
And so
makes
we
no sense.
need
Yeah.
to start to describe, to show,
Yeah.
and to try to transfer these ideas that we have.
Yeah.
But from our point of view, this is the only point to improve, increase the quality.
there's an interdisciplinarity, right? There's like almost like an
absolutely.
engineering aspect that goes
Absolutely.
into it.
Consider that really the smart cushion technology, we study with some of the best engineering students that work for the automotive industry. So why?
Yeah.
Because we realize a mechanism that can work for more than 40 years, 10 times per days, and at the end
The durability.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
The durability, the timeless aspects are crucial point.
Right, right. In terms of timelessness, what do you think, of course there's, we talked about the evolution of the different products, of the design, but what do you think makes the products so flexible in terms of the context that they can be in, but also, it's almost art pieces at times.
Yeah.
Products are in collections of MoMA,
it's true.
Centre Pompidou. I think, what do you feel like is that special EDRA quality that makes that happen?
Honestly, we never start to study a product for a museum collection or for a specific situation. We start from a really open scheme, without scheme. And this is an important point because we can work the best way when you have an open mind, an open landscape in front of you.
Right.
Then it's important to use quality materials that can give a great durability. And then for sure, at the end, when we found the mix of the proper material that we can use, we start to work on the design, the line of the product. I mean that this pillow starts from another sofa that never had an engineering inside. The pack sofa, the polar bear, that for us is
We're looking at
not
the
only a
polar
sofa,
bear
but
there,
it's a domestic landscape and a sofa with a high backrest. The polar bear, we transform the backrest in the polar bear at the end, only at the end.
Wow, okay.
But it was a message. It was the message that everybody is a sort of polar bear. Because sometimes we really want to stay alone, sometimes we want to have a partner, friends. So we work on the projects in this direction.
Right.
And this is important because it's our life.
Yeah.
So, and then there is a beautiful message of Francesco Binfaret that analyzes the relationship between the people and the natural environmental aspects. So these polar banquise that are island where we can stay in a safety situation. And so the mix of these can generate marvelous products.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You touched on environmentalist a little bit. I want to briefly talk about the sustainability topic because obviously, it's something that everybody's thinking about. How does EDRA make sure that, in terms of product life cycle, but also materials that you briefly touched upon, sustainability plays an important part?
Honestly speaking, we never talk about sustainability, but it is important for us to realize products that you don't need to recycle. You could perfectly recycle every single element inside, but you don't need because the durability, the quality of the materials is perfect.
Yeah.
So we come from a region that is the Tuscany, where we are surrounded by villages, little town where there are historical castle, historical family.
Yeah.
That they realize this beautiful building structure in the past and are still there. This is a fantastic way to have the best sustainability for the world.
Right.
And it's important that we can work all together in this kind of direction.
No, for sure. Can you briefly, do you have a highlight of this current exhibition? Any of the new products that you're specifically
Allora, for sure,
fond of?
we continue year per year to invest in terms of real research and innovation. We are working on a collection of material. Here we are sitting on a sofa where to realize the fabric, that is a new family of gems.
Okay.
That this is the tiger high gems. After I will show you, we start studying the beauty of the natural stone to realize a fabric. It's a family that is composed by 9 different finishing, and every single finishing is a different fabric. So it's a family with a family inside. So it's a huge investment that need years to arrive at this solution. But it's another option.
Right.
Is the possibility to use our sofa in completely different context, completely different ambience. And this is important because we can dress in the proper way a structure that is fantastic. It's the same things that started from the question that you mentioned before, the SPAZIO EDRA, why? The product is it's the central heart of everything.
Right.
And around of this, we can cover, we can change the elements, but we can have the same quality
Right.
part in the middle.
Which is why, as you mentioned, it's 60 products, but you have them in so many different
Absolutely,
forms.
yes. Every time that we receive a product, sometimes we are a little bit, we can say, smiling, scary, because we cannot know where we can invest.
Of course.
So it is important because we are open to receive these ideas that are really powerful in terms of identity.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of identity, where do you feel like EDRA is headed next? What's the future like?
Continue to work in this direction in a world that is trying to change apparently, because we need to preserve certain qualities that today are not the main focus for many people.
Which is quality of product and craftsmanship,
Exactly.
I would
we
imagine.
need to grant all these kind of knowledge, these kind of technologies to people that want to have a product inside the house that they can use and they can enjoy it every day.
Amazing. That's
So-
a great note to end on, I think.
Grazie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Thank you to be here with us.